Okay, so first off, apologies. I realise it's been quite a while since I posted a video, but with winter flu bugs and one or two other DIY projects, it's been a while since I've actually done any work on the guitar. So I'm going to get back to it now. I'm going to do a mock build up just to make sure everything fits together before I strip it down for final sanding. So let's go on with that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get the neck fitted and bolted on place. So make sure that's fitted nice and snug. So that's not as tight as it would normally be on the final build-up, but that's it, just taking up the slack really. Okay, I'll get the scratch plate on next. It should fit snugly around the neck. Yeah, I've already got holes I'd marked earlier that lines up with the scale length line. So if I take that in position there, okay, now I can get these fitted and make sure they're going to sit in the right place before I start drilling any holes. So already you see a slight problem here. This cavity isn't quite wide enough here. That one's fine. That's okay. Yeah, so that actually fits nicely there. But it's just, there's not enough room for the pots. Yeah, so I've got to take a bit off this side here. Okay, so I've got my template set up again. I'm just going to take a bit of Okay, moment of truth. Will this fit in? Bloody hope so. Oh yes, it looks a winner. Okay, so that's the bulk of the dry fit up done. All the parts fitting now. What I have to do is get some strings fitted so that I can then get the headstock finished off and get the machine heads fitted. But yeah, pleased with it so far, it's looking sweet. Yeah. Right, so from the plan, I've got a distance from the edge of the headstock to the centre of the tuning pegs. I've transferred it to this, so I'm going to transfer that now onto the headstock itself and get a centre line. So our friends at Fender kindly supply the tuning pegs on a card with a bit of double-sided tape that's got the tuning pegs fitted correctly, so I can stick that down and that gives me an accurate measure for the centre of not only the tuning pegs but also of the holding down screws. So I need to be careful and mark them on the back rather than on the top, but at least it will give me a mark for my tuning peg ferrules. I established the position of the first one by just taping an E-string on in the right position, running it through, and then everything else will follow on from there. So hopefully that one's right. Okay, so that's the machine heads fitted, nice and neat. I haven't put the ferrules all the way home because obviously I've got a lot of sanding still to do, and this is just a mock build, so I just put them in enough just to hold them in position to make sure everything was right. So yeah, good to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is obviously put the neck back on, get it strung up, and just check heights and everything, make sure all the cavities are the right depth, and I don't need any more routering work done before I go and do the final sanding prep for painting. Okay, so I'm going to be able to carve the slot for the nut. I'm using a pre-slotted bone nut, so I'm going to carve out the slot for that. Yeah, let's go on with that. I'm going to use my 3mm Narex chisel, and I'm just going to try and neatly take out this between the saw marks. Okay, so we're not too bad at that, for the time being anyway. I don't want to fit it just now, finally fit it just now, but it's more just to check all the alignment. So what I'll do is I'll just lay it in. I'll get some strings, a couple of strings on, just to see how they line up. Okay, so this mock build-up has been a really worthwhile exercise. There's a few things that's thrown up. First thing, I don't know if you can see it there, but the pickup height is way too high. It's almost touching the strings, so I'm going to have to deepen the pickup routes. There's also something just catching on the trim. it's working, but it's rubbing somewhere, so I'll need to have a look at that and investigate that. But the most important thing is the neck socket is too deep. The action's way too high. I'm going to have to shim the neck for sure. Other than that, it looks good. Well worthwhile doing that mock build up. It's the first time I've really done one to this extent, but I'll be doing it from now on all my builds for sure. So yeah, shim to make, routes to deep in, and investigate this, and hopefully then we're good to go. Okay, in order to find out where the trowel was rubbing, I've lined the cavity with masking tape, but when I come to operate it, it's operating fine. There's no rubbing or anything like that, no fouling, so I can only assume I hadn't had the strings tension properly, and it was maybe just the string tension that was pulling it to one side or the other, but I certainly can't see any rubbing here. So we'll just have to leave that just now. I'm going to make a 2mm shim to put in here, and I'm going to route maybe 3 or 4mm deeper on the cavities. So we'll get on with that. Well, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. 2.3, 2.3, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So yeah, it's not perfectly flat, but hey, for a cheap little bandsaw it's pretty damn good. And I've obviously got it I can flatten it off with. So yeah, please. Close enough. Okay, I forgot to press record, but you've seen it glue up before, so that's the piece, 2mm thick, glued in. So I'll leave that for a while and let it cure, and then I'll come back and get on with the route. Okay, so that's the shim fitted. Just need to drill the holes out, we'll do that at a later date. But I'm going to get on now and router the extra depth in the pickup cavities. Okay, so we've got the cutter set up for a 3mm deep cut, so let's just get on and route that. Okay, so I think that's now the body ready for its final grain fill-in, sanding and whatnot. So yeah, might as well just crack on with that. Okay, so there's a lot of sanding to be done here. There's a lot of scratches in this top that I'm going to have to get out. You can see them. Maybe see them in here. So I'm not going to bore you by watching all this hours of endless sanding, so I'm going to get some tunes on and I'll see you back once I'm sanded. Okay, so that's it now, sanded to 320 all over. So I'm going to hit it with a couple of coats of grain filler. I'm going to use the Aqua Coat Clear, and yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. Okay, that wasn't too pretty, but that's first coat of grain filler on. I'll give it a light sand once that's cured off, probably taking a couple of hours maybe, and then I'll hit it with a second coat and see how we go after that. Okay, so that's had a couple of hours now to cure, so I'm going to get on and sand it. I'm just going to use 320 and give it a light sanding all round. Okay, so that's the first grain filler on and sanded. It's feeling really smooth. Yeah, quite happy with that. I'll maybe do another one, but I'm going to leave it a few days and then come back to it. But yeah, I think it's getting close to being ready for painting. Okay, so that's 2 sessions of grain coating and sanding. It's now sanded to 320, so it's ready now to receive primer. I'm not going to do it in this video because I've gone on long enough with this one, so I'm going to call a halt to it here, and I'll see you back in the next one. So thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, and yeah, see you soon.